Well, I'm coming to our last video here on Inside the Mind of a Hacker, guys. And over the past few days, I'm sure you would have had a lot of fun going through the content together. We talked about obviously social engineering, talked about reconnaissance, we talked about gaining access, we talked about Google hacking, we talked about all the other fun stuff. Now, I was going to give you some more resources as well, but I thought we're going to cover a lot more details in our 2-day workshop together. So instead of getting you to do and putting together things that might be, a bit daunting and confusing, I thought I'd wait until we meet together at our 2-day bootcamp and we can do it all together in-house, practical, hands-on as well. And you have access to myself and you have access to the people, our mentors as well on the day, if you need any help as well as we're doing things together. So I thought I'd wait and introduce you more into the sort of the pen testing side of things and the ethical hacking and both, I guess, the research side of things as well. When we spend some time together as well. So this is a final video. I hope that you did enjoy the series. If you had any more questions, don't forget to let me know. And of course, I've been approached as well around sort of dietary requirements, guys. If you do have any dietary requirements or specific allergies to foods, please let me know or let my team know that you have any sort of allergies or requirements specifically just for yourself, and we can arrange the right diet and the right food for you on the day as well. So this is the final video, guys. This is a bit of a bonus video. I thought I'd put together some resources and tips to give you a more cutting edge into the world of penetration testing and cybersecurity, and what I think is probably crucial for everyone to obviously begin and sort of to continue researching, right? So before I begin, I just want you to know that this is going to be a journey. Okay, Rome wasn't built in a day. Things take time. You have to learn, you have to research, you have to break things and not be afraid to break things. You have to go away, you have to put in the effort, and then obviously come back later and do the same thing again and again and again and repeat that process. So making sure you got a deadline and a time frame, and I'm more than happy to sit down with you and sort of put a plan together on your research and your studies. And obviously come up with a sort of a grand plan for the next 12 months. And don't forget, you can always reach out to me if you need anything as well. So let's continue with this bonus video and we can sort of see where this sort of takes us as well. Okay, so let's begin. So a couple of resources that we're going to cover. I've written some here because I forgot to also include them in our sort of resource pocket as well. So we'll go through them all together. We're going to talk about DEF CON. And DEF CON is not a party. For those of you that are in Australia, obviously gets confused with the party scene. It's not a party. It's a great hacker conference over in Las Vegas in the USA. A great sort of social engineering sort of conference. It goes over a couple of days. It gets the best security people in the world talking to you about the latest and greatest, which is a great sort of research and resource tool as well. We'll have a look at Blackhead as well. It's the same thing. B-sides, some more security, OWASP, SANS, offensive security. We'll talk about Pentester Labs, Bugcrowds, and Bug Sheets. We'll talk about Rapid7, who obviously create vulnerabilities, scanners, and that sort of stuff. CyberE, hacker spaces. Then we'll take a look at obviously open security and ECCouncil as well for any additional training and resources. So we'll go through them now one by one. So for you guys that are sort of really open to learning and to researching, I highly recommend that you do try and attend one of these conferences. Obviously, they might be a little bit expensive to go there, but you should experience this at least once in your lifetime. You should try and make the effort to attend the conference, to go down, and I highly advise you not to take any sort of technology gadget with you. No phone, no laptop, nothing. Just take yourself there and enjoy the time, because if you do take something there, they have what we call a hacker corner or a loser corner, where people's credentials or banking details will get sort of posted right in the hallway of everything, where they'll just exploit everyone that comes in. So it's a really fun sort of days. Obviously a couple of days when you go there. Each day's covered different things. When I was there, we're talking about Bluetooth hacking and breaking into cars wirelessly, opening and closing garage doors, for example. Anything that operates as a radio frequency level and that sort of stuff, which is quite cool. So have a look at DEF CON. If you guys go over to defcon.org, and I'll send you all of these in a proper document, so you have all the names and what they are about, and obviously there are the web addresses as well, so you can sort of check these out yourself as well. Black Hat's another one. Black Hat is a little bit more expensive, but Black Hat is sort of around the same thing. They talk more about the, I'm just kind of trying to move my screen there, but Blackhead is just another sort of conference as well. You know, another sort of similar to DEF CON in terms of security and research. So another sort of big event that gets happened. Obviously, they have training, you know, obviously tools and gadgets. If you have a quick look at the Arsenal lineup, and you can sort of go through these in your own sort of time as well, but you can all see the sort of exploits that they work on. Obviously, you'll see the people that that do attend. Obviously, highly respectable cybersecurity researchers there as well, which is quite cool. Another one that I want you to get a hold of is security B-sides. And security B-sides is obviously, you know, the good side and the bad side of things. Obviously, they have a lot of meetups and obviously a lot of research that gets put on here. A great little resource tool that you guys can have a look at as well. OWASP is one of the industry standards, or not an industry standard, it's probably one of the industry sort of websites where you go through and you find out any sort of particular web application vulnerabilities or any sort of hacks that have happened. And OWASP is basically the place to be. It talks about the vulnerabilities, the hacks that have happened. Obviously, there's more resources here that you can sort of go through in your own time as well. I'm just going to give you a high-level overview of some of the cool sort of resources that I think are really highly valuable to you and where you should be spending most of your time researching. So you obviously talk about the application side of things, the testing, cheat sheets, a whole bunch of cool resources on here, all of videos, press releases, projects. You can do projects yourself and that sort of stuff. So really cool thing. Next one is Bugcrowd. Now Bugcrowd is a sort of a bug, sort of a crowd approach to security. And so what it intends to do is get a crowd of people to basically exploit a vulnerability. So instead of having 1 or 2 people or 10 people internally, you go through this crowd, or you go through basically a crowd platform, and you'll have literally maybe thousands or tens of thousands of people basically trying to break into this application. So obviously the more eyes that are on it, the more vulnerabilities you can find, and you obviously have boundaries, bounties, I should say. And obviously there'll be a scope of services of what's allowed to be tested and what's not allowed to be tested, and obviously the bounty. So first person that finds the bounty wins, or first person that finds a big vulnerability will win, and that could be a monetary reward, financial payment, or it could be, you know, vouchers, or it could be whatever sort of thing, you know, the company is particularly offering, which we'll have a look now at the bug sheets as well. So you guys can go through this in your own time, a bit about Bugcrowd itself, what they do, and how to obviously become, you know, if you want to become a researcher for Bugcrowd, it's highly recommended that you can sort of go down that journey as well. So in here, we'll talk about the bug bounty list. So what this basically does is companies will put up sort of a bug bounty. So you will give you proper authorization to, I guess, test the systems, and obviously you say what sort of reward, and obviously you can see the company that sort of gets on here. So obviously, you know, you might have Cisco, or you might have, you know, Asana, or you might have AT&T, and all these sort of companies. And then you can sort of go through this in your own time. Obviously, we'll go through maybe 1 or 2 here, and you can have a look at what it looks like. So let's just go through and find company. I can't think, there you go, Chrome. So we can go through Chrome. So if you want to basically test an application with Chrome, we'll go through the Chrome, and then we'll go through the actual program rules of what's allowed. And then you can see what the sandbox rules are, and what obviously the payments or financial, or obviously monetary or other sort of benefits you receive for finding a particular flaw. And yeah, and then you can sort of start your program with them. So if you want to start with it, you obviously go through it all, you approve it, and you basically start the program or contact them as well. Another one was Semantic. I was going through Semantic stuff as well, but you know, you get the sort of idea. It's sort of a bug bounty program. You can just jump on there and start sort of breaking into the applications or Chrome browsers or whatever the case may be for that specific vendor. Another cool resource, guys, is SANS.org. SANS do a great bunch of training and material. We sort of saw in the last sort of couple of videos where we would jump into the resources. We saw the resources that SANS has, more bunch of cool online videos, training and material resources. You can go through this in your own time. SANS is a great sort of vendor and provider out there in this sort of information security space. Highly recommend that as well. One of the best training vendors. I think right now in the world is offensive security. You talk about the offensive approach to security rather than being defensive. And I do think that offense is always the best form of defense. Offensive security is one of the greatest, I think, vendors out there in terms of security training. A little bit expensive, however, giving you the right ethical and, I guess, offensive approach to security and how do we bypass and break down systems bit by bit. Hands-on approach. They're really large in the States, overseas, not so much here in Australia. However, obviously you can do online training. It is a great platform, great for resources as well. Another sort of cool tool is Pen Tester Labs. This is obviously a free resource out there. For those of you that are really keen on, I guess, not spending too much money, not breaking the bank, Pen Tester Labs is a great sort of material. You can get hands-on, real practical sort of testing. You can build your own labs as well and sort of go through step-by-step approaches. And sort of, as you can see there, you talk about the website applications and talk about the networks as well. Great free resource, highly recommended for your arsenal as well, guys. Another one is Rapid7. Rapid7 basically build the vulnerability scanner. They do a bunch of resources and tools as well. Let me get rid of that. But as you guys can see this in your own time, you can go through it and find out more about Rapid7, a great vendor, great provider as well. Now, CyberE. CyberE is a free sort of tool. CyberE is great for, I guess, courses. They provide a lot of courses and material and training material. Obviously giving you a lot of feedback and, I guess, industry awareness in the world of cybersecurity. Great sort of, they also have, I guess, meetups as well, where you can jump into a couple of meetups. I'm not sure if there are any here in Australia. However, it's just a big platform where a bunch of resources and knowledge get poured into, and it is free, which is great as well for you if you're sort of going down that path as well. Another free one is Hackerspaces. Hackerspaces is basically a community of, of penetration testers or ethical hackers or unethical hackers as well. And they basically do meetups. So they might talk about specific vulnerabilities or web applications or networks or that sort of stuff, or IoT. And those obviously come together and talk about it. Another one is sort of meetups. If you go onto meetups.com.au, you can search the local community for any meetups that are here in Sydney or Melbourne or Victoria or Brisbane or whatever the case may be. And you can see what sort of meetups are out there in the industry as well. Another free one as well is Open Security Training.info as well. Another free resource, obviously, to get you going with the more research and tools to obviously get you equipped with the real world as well. There's games on here. You talk about cyber warfare games, scenarios, great little tool as well. And last but not least, guys, I can't forget about ECCouncil. ECCouncil does another sort of framework. For those of you that are really interested in the ethical approach to security, I highly recommend looking at the CEH course, the Certified Ethical Hacker, and obviously getting more certifications and training through ECCouncil as well. They talk about forensics and information security management as well. Just a great arbitrary sort of framework and library of bunch of resources, which I think is highly valuable to upcoming talents right now to learn more. Obviously, you've got the resources here. You look at the community, and there's obviously a whole bunch of stuff, webinars, white papers, podcasts, everything else as well in between. And that's pretty much it, guys. So I hope that you have enjoyed this series. I do thank you for all the questions that have come through. I hope it hasn't been too hard. I did try and keep it sort of simple. I didn't want to go into too much depth of the practical side of things that we are going to be covering together on our 2-day live workshop, where we'll be spending, obviously 2 days together. I want to do that together, in-house, hands-on, where if you got any questions or you're getting some error messages, I can actually see it and help you out with it step by step as well, rather than doing it through computers and sort of relying on other sort of technology and sort of can't seeing what you're doing. I really want to get that and help you rather than showing you things and then you maybe not being confused and really overwhelmed with the sort of stuff that we're trying to do. So guys, I can't wait to meet you at our 2-day bootcamp in the next couple of weeks. It's going to be so much fun. I've prepared the material. I've tested the material. We're going to break passwords. We're going to set up systems. We're going to break them down. We're going to scan them. We're going to show us. We're going to see what we see through Wireshark. We're going to capture the bits and data. It's just going to be a great workshop, and I can't wait You're also going to get a certificate of recommendation, as I promised, showcasing all the work that you conducted over the 2 days as well, which is going to be great eye candy for any employer as well. Guys, if you do have any more questions about this series or anything that you have on your mind, please reach out to me and let me know. And I assume if you don't reach out to me, everything is hunky-dory. Just remember, guys, that this is a journey, right? Rome wasn't built in a day. Things just take time. And we really need to build a plan. So if you're having issues, or you're having uncertainty, or you're not sure which pathway is right for you, reach out to me, let me know, and we can have sort of an hour together, a 60-minute sort of session where we can sort of deep dive into that and see what we're going to try and accomplish over the next 12 months, or over the next 24 months, or over the next 6 and 3 months, and obviously what level you're at as well, in sort of seeing what pathway is right for you as well. So don't forget to stick to a plan, get a plan going, and obviously stick to it. So without further ado, guys, that's it for this series. It's been a hell of a fun. It's been great recording this. I can't wait to give you more value on our upcoming workshop in just a couple of weeks. So if you have any more questions, as I said, please reach out to me, let me know. Otherwise, I'll catch you on our information night. You'll meet myself, you meet my team, and then I'll see you at our 2-day exclusive live workshop. It's going to be so much fun, guys. I can't wait. Have a great day. Have a great week. Enjoy everything. Go back, reread this course, go through all the material that we walk through, because when we meet in our 2 days together, we're going to hit this road running. We're going to hit the ground running. We're going to jump in. We're going to deep dive, and we're going to get started. And we're going to start breaking systems. And I'm going to show you some cool shit along the way. All right, guys, have a good one. Enjoy, and I'll speak to you guys very soon.